Audio Jungle.
St. Thomas man charged for fatal shooting of man at his home following dispute. A 23-year-old St. Thomas resident was on Thursday charged for the shooting death of a man inside his home in Bull Bay, St. Andrew. Charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and using a firearm to commit a felony is Anthony Barrett, otherwise called Hillocks, and Country of Leith Wall. Barrett is charged for the death of 34-year-old electrician and taxi driver Joshua Hutchinson of Hope Hill in Bull Bay, St. Andrew on Friday, April 11. The police report that on Thursday, April 10, an argument developed between Hutchinson and Barrett and another man. During the confrontation, a shove was used to hit Hutchinson, causing a wound which resulted in him being admitted to the hospital for treatment. Upon Hutchinson's discharge from the medical facility a day later, Barrett visited the house at about 1:20 a.m., where he shot him multiple times, according to the police. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, the injured man was transported to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Following an investigation into the shooting, the accused was taken into custody on Saturday, May 24, and was subsequently charged on Thursday, May 29. A court date is being arranged for him. UWI teachers threaten industrial action if changes are not made to pension and health benefits. Teachers at the University of the West Indies, Mona, reported the intent to take industrial action on Monday, June 2nd, if management goes ahead with plans to change pension and health benefits. The change would affect new staff members coming on as of August 1. This, as there was no discussion or agreement with the union representing the teachers about the changes. The West Indies group of university teachers also alleged that when concern was raised about the change, UWI management reportedly refused to revise its unilateral decision. The president, Dr. Paul Brown, told reporters that UWI management plans to reduce its pension contribution from 10 to 5%. Dr. Brown said if UWI management proceed with the change, it would be a breach of established labor relations rule. He said under a normal course of procedure, the union and management would discuss any change to the benefits, and if there is no agreement, then the Industrial Dispute Tribunal would intervene.
Such changes, as far as I can recall over the history of both the union and the university, these changes have been arrived at through negotiations. So it is a joint agreement that would see changes to health pension benefits. But the specific things about pension benefits is that the rules of the institution require that the employer contributes 10% of the basic salary to the pension, and the employee contributes 5%. The university wants to change that. They want to only contribute 5%, while the employee would contribute 5%, but they have the option to increase their 5% through voluntary contribution to a maximum of 15%. That is in contravention of the rules. Each staff member that comes in gets what is called a blue book, which outlines the ethical principles and rules that govern their employment. And those rules are agreed on between the union and the university. And neither side can change them unilaterally. So for the university to suggest and to be making plans to change these, we think that this is a breach of those rules that are outlined in that joint document, and we are resisting that. We have told the university that they need to change course because that course of action is not acceptable, and they have indicated that they are unwilling to do that. So the end result of that is the protest action that will start on Monday, June 2. In the end, it probably will end up with the Ministry of Labour and the IDT because there was a legal opinion that was involved. And in fact, that legal opinion to the university suggested that they should, on the one hand, put it forward as a negotiation claim for the next round of negotiations. But at any rate, changes would need to be discussed and negotiated with the union. Where there is no agreement, then clearly the IDT might be involved in such cases.
Government to provide $20 million for repairs at Buff Bay Fire Station. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development is to disburse $20 million for emergency repairs at the Buff Bay Fire Station. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie made the announcement during a recent visit to the station to view the ongoing works on the station and the complete perimeter fence that was recently constructed. The main problem that the station was experiencing was the perimeter fence. It was a vast open place. Now we have provided the funds and the station have been secured, enclosed with extensive wall that have provided coverage, McKenzie noted. There is ongoing work that is presently taking place, and the purpose of that is that we provide some funds for the construction of a washroom to place a washer and a dryer so that when the firefighters use the bunker gears, this is where the bunker gear will be taken and washed and dry so that after that they can have it to use again, he continued. There was also other issues, the leaking of the roof and also the windows of the station that have been affected. We are going to be providing some $20 million to commence emergency work to correct the problems of the leaking and to change the windows. He commended the fire station for doing an excellent job in spite of the challenging circumstances. Despite the challenges that they have never failed to respond, McKenzie noted. The Buff Bay station is a critical station in this part of Portland and this part of the island, and I just want the men and women who work here to understand that we will be providing the funds to undertake the necessary repairs on the building. Man found guilty of murder in 15-year-old home invasion. 15 years after a brutal home invasion in St. Andrew, a 7-member jury found Steve Darkins guilty of the 2010 murder of Derek Lord, following a trial in the Home Circuit Court last Wednesday. The incident occurred on August 5, 2010, when a neighbor, a retired district constable, heard cries of murder, murder. In McKilmy called the police, coming from the Lord's home in Kirk Avenue. The neighbor immediately contacted the police and kept watch until other officers arrived approximately 5 minutes later. Upon arrival, the police observed Darkins running from the back of the house. When questioned, he claimed he was there to steal mangoes. However, investigators quickly discovered the body of the Lord inside the house, bound with handcuffs, gagged with duct tape, and bearing a fatal stab wound to the neck. No signs of forced entry were found. Due to numerous delays over the years, primarily because of accused changing attorneys 10 times, the trial began on May 5, 2025, before presiding judge Justice Carolyn Ty Powell. According to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions (ODPP), 8 witnesses, including 6 police officers, most of whom are now retired or no longer in the force, testified. One witness gave evidence via video link from London, supported by the Jamaican consulate. The ODPP said the case hindered largely on circumstantial and forensics evidence. DNA samples taken from the crime scene included one blood spot that matched Darkins' profile and another mixed profile containing genetic material from both Darkins and the victim. Prosecutors praised the exceptional work of the investigating officers from the Constant Spring Police Station and highlighted the importance of scientific evidence and the role of the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine in securing the conviction. Dawkins, who had been on bail for most of the 15-year period, was remanded in custody following the verdict. He is scheduled to be sentenced on June 26, 2025. Finance Minister stands behind Dennis Stock appointment to FID. Finance Minister Favor Williams has described the call by the opposition People's National Party for the government to overturn the appointment of Dennis as the Chief Technical Officer of the Financial Investigations Division (FID) as both reckless and dangerous. The proposal for the government to insert itself into a rigorous process, which included advertisement and interviews, and was conducted by the PSC, Public Services Commission, is both reckless and dangerous. This is a path which Jamaica should avoid. If the aforementioned is the approach to governance that an individual or organization proposes to apply to the corridors of the government, Jamaicans should take careful note and reject the inclination, Williams said in a statement on Friday. Additionally, Williams said that characterizing Dennis as just an accountant demonstrates ignorance as it pertains to the competency and skill set required for the position. Those questioning should do a search that will indicate that to become the head of the Financial Investigations Division, you'll need a strong combination of education, experience, and skills. Typically, this involves a bachelor's degree in related fields like accounting, finance, law, or related areas, also with at least 7 to 10 years of experience in areas like auditing, financial analysis, or investigations. Mr. Dennis possesses ample relevant education, experience, and skills for the position. The selection process was transparent. The position was advertised, candidates were shortlisted and interviewed. Mr. Dennis came out successful. We stand firmly behind his selection on the basis that due process was observed, she noted. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.